Hey, welcome to the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute with your host, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest, Alan Bishop. Hey, this channel is all about home distilling and legal distilling. If you've got questions, reach out to us in the comments below, social media, or via bishopshomegrown@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out thealchemistcabinet.com. Hey, what's up, guys? Back with the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I do apologize. I haven't been doing a lot of updates lately. There's been more than enough going on in the world to get your attention, I'm sure. A lot of really messed up things going on out there, and of course our love and prayers to those who need them. It's insane, the things that are coming out, not only about, the storm itself, but the things that are happening right now that we all, as U.S. citizens, should be highly pissed off about. I'm not going to get into all that. That's not what this channel is about. But just know that, I love you guys. Stay safe. And listen, part of distilling is being a prepper. Don't count on your government to do anything for you, because they're not going to. They are not us. We're here to take care of our people. So, that being said, I only have one question here, because questions have slowed down. So if you guys have got questions, I'm happy to answer them, whether it be about home distilling, professional distilling, etc. Send them along. bishopshomegrown@gmail.com is the best way to get them to me, although you can reach out to me on social media, YouTube comments below, and I'll try to get to your question and answer it to the best of my possible ability. We got a lot of cool stuff going on at Old Homestead. We got our cooker online now. We got our 500-gallon stripping still online, and we're getting ready to hook up the second 250-gallon doubling still. And so that's all coming along. I got me some help over there. Got a great still hand. You'll learn more about him as we go. He's got some background and some experience, and really, really good worker. I can't say enough good things about him, for sure. The other thing that's going on is I have finished my part of the Practical Distiller's Almanac for 2025. As far as the writing goes, almost all of it. I have one more little thing to do, but it ain't no big deal. But all the astrology's all done. All that stuff's ready to roll. So that'll be getting formatted here very, very shortly, very, very soon. And hopefully be able to get out to you guys, before the beginning of the new year. We have several guest writers coming in and doing their thing as well. And it's coming along. It's looking really nice. I'm very excited about it. So anyways, let's get into this. So this is from my buddy Jeff. Hey, Alan, as always, thanks for taking time to answer questions and pass along your knowledge. It's greatly appreciated. Excuse me. Let's see. Question. In the past, you've mentioned that brandies and any whiskeys that have oats as a part of the mash bill should be aged in an environment that doesn't have any more than approximately 35 degrees temperature variation. That'd be Fahrenheit, by the way. Obviously, to better hold on to some of the character of the brandy and or whiskey. However, would the same concept apply if we are aging our brandies and whiskeys in quart jars / half-gallon jars, keeping the jar lid screwed on tight and aerating the brandies and whiskeys for 25 minutes to 60 minutes, time depending on jar size and liquid volume, every 3 or so months with a fish tank aerator / air stone? Or since our jar lids are screwed on tight, except for aerating periodically, would the being stored / aged in an environment that doesn't have any more than approximately 35-degree temperature variation not matter? Not sure if this is a good question, One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute or not. You might think it's a pretty stupid question, a little out there, but was just curious as to what your thoughts are regarding this. Now, Jeff, I think it's a great question. I think if you're aging in a jar the way that you're talking, right, by adding wood to it, and then you're screwing the lid down and all that stuff, I don't think the temperature is anywhere near as important, because you're not getting those interactions, right? The point of doing that with a barrel is that a barrel, I've said this many, many, many times, but a barrel is a really shitty storage device and an excellent ingredient. And like any ingredient, it's alive. It's breathing to some degree, right? It's allowing air in, it's allowing air out. Temperature fluctuations have huge, effects on that. The volatility of the various different compounds that are being distilled over from the various different things that you're actually working with fermentation, distillation. If you're in a hot, very dynamic climate, hot, cold, you're going to blow off a lot more of that volatility than you would if you were in a more stable climate in general. Now there are exceptions to this, so I wouldn't say oats 100% all the time need to go into an environment like that. What I would say is if you intend for those oats to be more than mouthfeel more than just actually affecting the texture of the spirit itself. If you want them to be a part of the aroma and a part of the flavor, they really do need to be treated much more like a brandy, like an apple brandy or a grape brandy, etc. They need to be, either, in something that doesn't move more than 35 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year, or maybe even potentially cellared like much brandy is. And then, humid cellar versus a dry cellar also makes a big difference as well. So, and that's something that we can get into in the future too, if you guys would like to. But I think with the jars, I think you're perfectly fine to have them somewhere where it's going to get hotter or get colder. It's not going to hurt anything. You probably do get a little bit more, push into the wood and pull out of the wood if you are being a little more dynamic with the jars than what you would be with the barrels. I mean, you get the equal amount of push-pull, but you don't lose the volatility like you do in a barrel. As that barrel breathes out, you're losing quite a bit of that aromatic sort of feel. But this is one of the biggest tricks that I had at Spirits of French Lick, truthfully. I can't even believe I said that name out loud. I'm trying to not say it at this point in time. But one of the biggest tricks is, listen, that whole respect the grain idea. If you like the idea of being able to blend and balance flavors from the distillation and fermentation with those flavors from the cask, you really need to watch the type of warehousing you use. You really need to watch the kind of temperatures that you have going on, right? And figure out what grains do best at what temperatures, what fruits do best at what temperatures. But that was really the vast majority of what I was doing with my maturation program. I wasn't moving barrels around a lot. I wasn't rotating barrels, and none of the big guys do that. They can tell you they do all they want, but they don't rotate their barrels. I wasn't moving them from, I was only stacking them 4 high on wine racks most of the time. I wasn't moving them from the bottom to the top, the back corner to the middle, back of the room to the front of the room, none of that stuff. I was very much so just making sure that the right grains or the right fruits ended up in the right warehouse, either the one attached to the building or the ones detached from the building, depending on what I was after. I think that there is still so much room to learn about how barrel maturation works, right? And I don't think that anyone really truly knows. I will be honest with you. You have cognac guys that are 9 generations deep, and yeah, they know some stuff that we don't know, but they don't know everything, and they don't have the same climate as what we have here in the United States. I mean, hell, a lot of you guys watching this don't have the same climate as I have here in southern Indiana. Southern Indiana and Kentucky are pretty close to one another as far as climate goes, but it's going to be different everywhere you go, and the wood's going to make a difference, and the grain, and the distillation, the type of distillation, type of fermentation, yeast, all those things, as we always talk about, make a difference. I think that maybe, potentially, the barrel is the most mysterious part of the whole thing. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have some idea of what a cask is going to do. I mean, obviously, we know how to make Kentucky-style bourbon. We know exactly what that requires, and to the extent that even, in Kentucky-style bourbon, yeah, they've got an idea of what floors, what brands are going to come from. That's part of the differentiation they have within their distillery. Some of the only differentiation they have between products is where the barrel is matured at. It's not the mash bill, it's not the yeast, it's not the distillation protocol. It's, well, this barrel went on floor 7, this one went on floor 5, etc. That's kind of what they do. But overall, I think there's a lot to be experimented around with. So play around with those jars, move them around. I've done jars with wood on them before, and I've done them, put them out where they'd get real warm somewhere, and then I've taken them and put them in a freezer and cooled them down and opened them up, aerated them, went through cycles. I've done that with buckets. I've done it with all those sort of things. But I will tell you, though, if you can afford to, get you some Bad Mo's from Christopher, or get you some 1030s, one of the two, from Ian. If you're going to take the time to really try to mature a spirit, it is so worthwhile to really just do it the right way. Really take your time with it. Really take your effort with it. I can't speak highly enough for those two producers of casks. I mean, for home distillers, that's the biggest over anything else out there. Distillation equipment, yeast, grains, etc. That is the biggest thing that has been done for home distillers in years, in my opinion. It gets you so much closer to making those real high quality spirits that are matured over a long period of time, and I think it's very highly worthwhile. But Jeff, I hope that answered your question. Guys, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, bishopshomegrown@gmail.com. I love answering your questions, and new almanac coming soon, guys. I love y'all. Later.